Gonna ask them about Mystic Bayou.
How they got from where they started to opening up a store. Uh,
Is asking how y'all met on the table?
Sure.
Okay. Paul told us not to ask how many times y'all been married or something like that.
A few.
Yeah, it took us a while to find each other, that's for sure.
you probably can see it in the chart if y'all look.
Well, I saw that their charts are very similar to each other.
They
Yeah,
have a lot in common.
You guys have a lot in common.
Wait.
Hold on, push record. Go ahead.
It's recording. So let me start real quick.
Almost like soulmates, huh?
I think so.
Without a doubt.
You know what? I'm thinking about changing the intro from yesterday from 28 to 29 and make this one 28 to put it out sooner than the one yesterday.
Whatever you want. You're the boss here.
Well, since the website is gonna go live tomorrow, I think, and well, you're gonna push it on Facebook, right, Michelle, Joey?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, I'll at least get my information together to my Facebook girl, so that she can have it and then do a post about it and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So let's make this one 29, 28. All right. Thank you for joining us for episode 28. Before I begin, I want to wait. Hold up. Thank you for joining us for episode 28. Before I begin, I want y'all to visit mysticbayou.com. If you're in Bay St. Louis, trying to get some beach time, casino time, stop in the store in Bay St. Louis, Mystic Bayou, to see Joey and Michelle, or call them 228-231-1948. How you doing, Claudia?
I'm doing great, Paul. How are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing, D?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. You guys know I recently moved, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Congratulations.
Big move to Mississippi.
Yeah. Well, before I moved here, I had an idea. I had some other business to do, but I said, hey, when I get there, I kind of want to open up a metaphysics shop.
Mm-hmm. I remember you telling me about that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I told you I want to do the same thing eventually, someday.
Exactly. So here it is. I moved to this town. That I've been coming to this town since I was born. This is my mother's hometown, right? So here it is. I'm finally about to move here, and I got this idea. And as soon as I get here, the same idea I had, somebody is opening up that type of store.
Oh, so they were just opening as you were arriving.
Oh yeah. And I was moving stuff, and every time I went over there, they were setting stuff up, and I was looking through the window and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So now,
so both of you moved at the same time?
wait. The store was opening up when I moved there, right? And so now,
I missed that one.
So you know how y'all know how I do with other guests. How does other guests get on this show?
You be
stalk them?
Yeah. So now, huh? What'd you say, D?
You'd be stalking their page, checking their website.
Oh yeah. So now, well, they don't have I'm not on Instagram or something stalking somebody's page. Now I'm stalking somebody's store.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you better be careful with that, Paul. You're gonna get in trouble.
Well, you don't know about this. You got to have Scorpio energy to know about this.
Yeah, that's that intensity.
No, the detective. Scorpio the detective.
The intensely dedicated
The
detective.
secretive detective, right?
That's insane.
So check this out. So
It's another word for insanity.
so now the store opens, right? And so I'm trying to think, okay, I got to go in this store, and sometimes people don't know that I'm doing this, but this is what I'm doing. So I go in, I try to figure out how can I strike up a conversation, right? And so here it is. I'm moved here. I'm in a new house. Oh, I heard you're supposed to clear a house with sage.
Yeah.
You ask them about some sage, right? So I asked about some sage. Little did they know, I was pretty much picking the brain, testing knowledge, seeing where they stand,
See if they're fake or real.
Exactly. Speaking of, hey, I know I text y'all that link from TikTok last night.
Yeah.
Of that person live. I think they were fake.
No.
I'll have to tell y'all
Trust
about
your
it.
detective skills, Paul.
Yeah. And what threw me off, what gave me the clue was Leo. She said she was Leo.
Wait, let's get on with the introduction. I'm dying to say their names already.
Oh, my bad. So here it is. Here it is. I'm picking their brain, and I don't go anywhere without what on.
Your T-shirt.
There you go. So
your
now,
star attractive T-shirt.
yeah. So now I done picked their brain, and now it's my turn. And so
with your T-shirt, man.
yeah, so we get on astrology. Long story short, boom boom bop. I'm used to doing a ride of the day, quick little readings. Pull up the husband, pull up the wife, boom boom boom. Next thing you know, here we are, and they on the show.
Here they are.
I'd like to introduce Joey and Michelle to I Am Astrology Readings. And Joey and Michelle are the owners of the store in which I mentioned in the beginning. How you doing?
Doing good.
Welcome, Joey and Michelle.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate the invite.
You're sneaky, but in a good way.
That was quite an introduction.
Now, you say I'm sneaky, Michelle.
Can I just say something? You got to tell them, like, I did not even realize your shirt. I was just so, talking to you, looking at your face, telling you about the sage. And it was probably several hours into that first conversation before I even realized his shirt said, I am astrology.
Oh, wow. Yeah, y'all were engaged in conversation.
Well, I am a Gemini rising. And I was in Virgo mode, analyzing, and but Michelle is a Scorpio moon as well. So Michelle
and Joey are Scorpio moons, we just found out.
Are they?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they both
Well,
pull it up.
All three of you, Paul, Michelle, and Joey, working at Mystic Bayou together, all have Scorpio moon.
Oh, interesting. Good spot, D. Good spot. So, so then you guys would have did the same thing.
Yeah, more than likely, yes.
Y'all were returning that researching energy. Like, let's research this guy too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So let's find out who Joey and Michelle are. Who wants to start first? Who?
Sorry. Who wants to go first, honey?
Michelle, go first. She likes to talk more. So.
All right, Joey, where you from?
I'm originally born in Spring Hill, Louisiana, so I'm a Louisiana boy. stayed there basically till I was 18. Kind of moved a few spots in Louisiana. Moved from Spring Hill, New Orleans, and what I considered up north was Shreveport, Louisiana. So not that far from.
So far north.
Oh yes.
So that's the furthest north you've lived?
So I was 18, and once I was 18, joined the military
Oh,
and kind of moved all around. Did that for about 13 years. Ended up in Utah is when I got out of the military. And then from there, got a job. Ended up in Michigan. Did that for a while. Then let's see. Then from there, kind of was doing logistic work, so it was like just too stressful, too much BS and other stuff. I mean, just too much pressure, and it's like I was actually developing an ulcer just because of all the stress.
Wow.
So I had a job opportunity with Southwest, and when I first got out of the military, I was interested in Southwest. I was hired, but the starting pay at that time was, I mean, you kind of get used to a cost of living, and it's like you still have those bills at that cost. So to take a pay cut was drastic at that time. So I had the opportunity again when I went to Detroit, and I got hired on again with Southwest. Kind of told them, yeah, I was kind of interviewed in Utah, got accepted, and they're like, oh, then you're hired. It's like I didn't have to go through the interview process or anything. So I ended up going there, and pretty much from there spent some years in Michigan. Discovered I didn't like the cold. I think the day that actually was the eye awakening point was when I went to fill the aircraft. We put potable water on in the morning. It's like, so we're filling the aircraft up with water, disconnected it, went back inside the building. And when I went inside the building, I looked down at the jacket, just kind of pushed it. And you just saw all that water froze on me. And when I pushed it, you just crackled all the way down. And that was my point of, okay, I'm done with this. I got to go somewhere warm.
Go back down south.
go home.
Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we saw on Joey's chart he's Sagittarius rising.
Yes.
Okay, because I found it interesting. You asked him, where are you from? And he answered, well, originally from here, but then I went here and then here and then here. And so you've been traveling, long distance traveling. You might be known for, going around a lot of places, going to foreign lands. And you just described, being from, well, I've bounced around to all these different places. And these were these job opportunities led me.
A very cultured man.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Did the military take you to foreign lands?
Oh yeah, I went to Italy, went to Saudi Arabia, went to Turkey, went to Greece, went to Spain. Was in France, but that's kind of a bad situation. I don't go there anymore.
No, the ruler of his chart is placed in the 9th house, so yeah, of course he's gonna travel a lot.
Oh wow, I see. I didn't catch that. You're right.
Yeah. Have any siblings?
Nope, just myself.
All right. What spirituality did you grow up in?
Grew up Catholic. Pretty much stayed Catholic till went to high school. Actually went to Jesuit high school. So
Wait.
that was
Wait. Stop right there. What high school did you go to?
Jesuit.
Not everybody.
Jesuit
High School. It's in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Wow.
Now, I stopped him for a reason.
Because that's like the opposite of Catholic, right?
No, D. I mean, I'm doing a little stretching here, D.
Okay, let's hear it.
Now you got to remember, he's going back many years.
This Jesuit boy on my show. What is Jesuit's rival school?
And that would be you, since we've already had this conversation.
Archbishop Rummel. I went, D.
Look how far we've come now.
Yeah, I went to the rival school, D.
from rival schools to
Yeah.
working together.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. So so you grew up Catholic and you practiced that pretty much till
Correct. And I mean, it was like I said, once you kind of study theology, you start then asking a bunch of questions.
Right.
I mean, you realize, I mean, how much man has influenced religion, basically. I mean, it's not the true religion of almost any religion you look at.
It's
There's
not.
no,
hey Claudia, why do you think he started asking questions?
What do you mean? About
Looking at
what?
his chart. When he just brought up theology and asking questions.
Both
Oh,
Sagittarius.
he's a Sag rising.
And where's his Jupiter?
And the ninth, like he's a philosopher.
Yeah.
That's
You're a straight philosopher, aren't you,
that's a
Joey?
strong placement.
I guess,
He's
I
got some
mean,
very strong ideals.
it's like, it's true. I mean, it's just, you get tired of how much man has corrupted so many things that he puts his 2 cents into. When, I mean, Catholic faith, crusades, either convert or die.
Hmm.
I mean, you look at religion, is that how you actually convert people?
Right.
I mean, the every religion, if you look at the baseline, it's to do good for others. The golden rule, treat others as you want to be treated. We forget that.
Yeah, yet it's
It's
hypocritical.
like,
Divide
mhm,
and conquer until we convert or die.
right.
Religion
That's
is a really big though. Religion is a really big thing in your chart though, Joey. Like he
Yeah.
has 3 planets in the
Jupiter,
12th house.
yeah, Jupiter in the ninth is especially strong. And then, yeah, what you said, planets in the 12th house, Claudia? Yeah, so that's spirituality.
Yes. Well, let's pause right there.
Let's pause and ask Michelle where she's from.
Yes. Michelle, where are you from?
I am definitely a northerner. So I grew up in Union, Michigan, a very tiny, tiny little town. We had one stoplight, and the only thing that our town was really known for was taverns and campgrounds, being on all the little tiny lakes. So,
Nice camping area.
yeah, little camping areas. We weren't very far from South Bend, Indiana, and even Chicago. So,
Are
we
you a
just
Notre Dame fan?
I used to be.
Oh,
I used to be.
all right. So small town in
Small town in Union, Michigan. Uh, I I don't know. How far do you want me to go here?
it siblings.
Yes, I have 2 older brothers. I was the only girl in my family. All my cousins were male, so I was kind of, the princess, I guess, but not really.
So
Um,
you grew up around a lot of masculine energy?
I did, yeah. And matter of fact, even my neighborhood, all of the kids in my neighborhood were majority male. So yeah, definitely a lot of male energy. I was the tomboy climbing trees and cleaning fish and doing all that stuff. Um, but I feel like I need to tell you this because she keeps popping into my head. But I had a neighbor that was an older lady. She was, oh Lord, probably in her God, probably 60s. I don't know, because I was very young. I was like 5 or 6 years old. And my household, my family was dysfunctional. It was really chaotic and crazy at times. And I found refuge in going to see my neighbor. And through those visits, she used to teach, I guess, like if I can remember back, she was like a preschool teacher or something like that. So she taught me ways to release feelings and emotions through writing or drawing and things like that. But she did it in a way that I didn't necessarily understand that that's what she was doing.
Mhm.
At that point in time, it took me many years to figure that out. But she ended up being my mentor and, taught me things about hypnosis and dream interpretation, things like that. And the very first book I received that I ever remember receiving was this big, heavy Bible looking big book. And it was a dream interpretation book. And I used to carry it around and do dream interpretation. I couldn't even read half the words, but, all these little book readers would sit there.
Kind of influence in your life.
Yeah, she was great.
Now you're stepping on D's territory. D is a dream interpreter.
Yes, I
love it.
I love dreams. Yes, it's very
Oh
interesting
yeah,
subject to me.
the psychology of dreams. Yes. And then
You started you got that book at a young age?
oh my gosh, yeah. I think at that time I was probably 6 or 7,
So
and I had it for many, many years. And
what spirituality was practiced in your household?
we were all baptized Catholic. We weren't really practicing Catholics.
All right.
We went to church maybe, midnight mass Christmas Eve and on Easter. So it wasn't really, that.
A cafeteria Catholic.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And yeah, so much like Joey, at some point in time, I got married and I had children, and I married young. I married at 18, and really that was a way of kind of getting out of my house. And I recognize that now. But yeah, so life happened. I had children, etc., and was the stay-at-home housewife, mom. And then at some point, I decided, because my mother's from Puerto Rico, I wanted to take my children to meet their family and, experience that heritage and take them to Puerto Rico. But I have this fear of flying. And this is, I'm kind of letting you in here. So I went to Google how much tickets would cost to take a family of 5 to Puerto Rico, and my jaw dropped. I knew I couldn't afford it. So what does Michelle do? Going through the computer banks here. I'm going to apply for a job at an airline. I hate flying. It scares me.
Wow.
Craziness. Like, why would I even do that other than to take my kids to Puerto Rico so they can meet my family? And that started my journey in the airline industry as well. So that was something that we had, in common. At this point, obviously we hadn't met each other, but
No, I think you guys were destined to meet.
I think so too, and we've discussed it. So, I moved around.
Wait.
In South Bend, Indiana, we had these little.
Stop it real quick. You said that you looked up how much tickets would cost, right? And you said, "Oh, all right, I don't have enough." Do one of y'all see money conscious in the chart?
Her Taurus rising,
There you go.
material
There you go.
value.
I can't wait to get to the juicy part. I've already seen so many similarities that I'm sure that both of you understand on a surface level. Like, I'm sure both of you have gotten, have talked a lot and have like already like gone through the similarities like on that level, but on the astrology level, it's so many.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Can I say the Taurus rising, the material value, but also her Scorpio moon is in the 7th house. So she saw value in maintaining connection with this extended family for their kids to know the heritage where they came from. And her moon conjunct Mars in Scorpio, that's an intense drive to make that value a reality. To make, I'm going to find a way. Like, I became an airline pilot, or not pilot, sorry. Started working for the airline, even though you have this horrible fear of heights, of flying, that I'm going to make this happen for my family, because I'm dedicated to them to having a relationship with these other members of the family.
Would that be Scorpio facing fear?
No, actually, no, I would put that under Aries, facing the fears. Her North Node is in Aries in the 12th. She's gonna go straight head on into like deep waters.
Ooh, and I know Paul likes to
Just
talk
like
about Saturn.
Yeah.
Saturn being obstacles to overcome, and she has that also in Aries. You had to take a brave stance.
Yeah. So getting back to, I wanted to ask, do one of y'all have Native American heritage?
I have a little. I mean, not like I can go to tribal lands and say, "Hey, I'm home." I mean, that's not going to happen. But I have a little bit of me, and I mean, I think that's for me. I focus on some of that in the things I do with Mystic Bayou. But I mean, it's just one of those. It's a it's an honored tradition, and I mean, I think many people forget how connected they were to the land, to Mother Earth. And it's like, I mean, just their spirituality in themselves. I mean, the honor they had for Mother Earth. I mean, they didn't dig into the ground just because they didn't want to hurt her. That's why. Oh,
Have you seen his tattoo, Paul?
No.
I don't know if you can.
Hold on. He actually has the a Native American medicine wheel.
Oh, nice.
It's like
Very nice. The bear. I like that.
so. I
was
mean,
gonna say, you don't have to be Native American to return to nature, to return to Earth, to start respecting her.
no.
No.
And I mean, and everybody can be Native. I mean, it's just your belief systems. I mean, it's like, I mean, like I say, you go back to your basics. I mean, the medicine wheel is a perfect example. It's 4 colors in it. I mean, it's black, white, red, and yellow. And I mean, and you just, number one, it's a wheel. But whenever we start separating colors, races, creeds from a wheel, what do you have? It's a clog. You're gonna be stuck. And I mean, when it's all in harmony, it's a perfect. You move. You're constantly moving. You're constantly flowing.
I find that interesting because the base of astrology is the 4 elements.
I remember
Water.
you had one episode, I don't remember his name, but you had someone on who was also talking about those the colors and the creeds.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, you're talking about Everese.
Race in astrology, I think, was the
Yes,
episode.
yes. D has a little Native American heritage as well, right? D.
Right. From my mom's side, she's from Mexico, and she's very, very Native. So I'm basically half Native American, half Irish from my dad's side.
Oh wow.
All right. So
that's similarities with Joey. Joey's
My dad
Irish.
My dad was Irish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
oh wow.
It was.
Yeah. Well, D, you actually got a little connection with both of them. You kind of share similar family story of Michelle's.
Okay, so
You
I
know,
remember you said your mother was from Puerto Rico.
Yes.
well, I was saying like chaotic family.
Oh,
stuff.
chaotic family. Okay, yeah, I got you there.
You needed to find what you said. You needed to find the escape,
Yeah.
Michelle.
Yep.
Uh,
I did.
I think you share that as well, right, D?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can definitely relate.
Wow.
Yeah. So, when did you guys first start venturing off the ranch, off of Catholicism, and you know?
I think for me, I was telling you I was baptized. We didn't really practice. I had an experience when my father passed away in 1995. No, I'm sorry, 1996. And I had an experience where when he was in that passing away process, the dying process, it was like a party in his room. You know, we had the grandchildren in there. My two brothers were there. My mother was there. My best friend, etc. It was like a sending off party. And at one point, excuse me, when he took his last breath, the entire hospital room smelled like roses. And that really kind of catapulted me into this wanting to know what the heck was that. I wasn't the only one that smelled it. Everybody in the room smelled it. There was no flowers. You know, we were kind of probably pretty stinky because we'd been staying at the hospital for, you know, at least a week. And my older brother, who has no sense of smell due to an accident, he did not smell the roses like everybody else, but he, you know, audibly heard, "It's time to come home, Richard." And it was strange. It was so like, I don't know. I was just on fire. I needed to know what this was. And I started looking deeper into what it could be. And one step led me to another, which led me to the Virgin Mary, the Blessed Mother, and apparitions, and, you know, all these different things. So I was really drawn back into the Catholic Church because of that scenario. And I put myself.
Did you go to Medjugorje?
I wanted to. I really did. I had it on my bucket list. You know, Fatima, Medjugorje, Garabandal, yeah, all that. So I was steeped in that for many years. I put myself through RCIA and became a full-blown Catholic. And, you know, I loved it. I had the gift of tears, and I was passionate. I was on fire. And it took one sermon from our father, Father Joe was his name, and it turned my world around and made me start thinking. But he had provided a sermon where he was talking about how we shouldn't change the way we are, and you know, our appearance, and, you know, just going down that path. And I happened to realize he was wearing these really thick eyeglasses, and he never wore glasses. And I thought, well, maybe, you know, his contacts were broke or whatever. And then at the end of service, we were all talking, and he basically said that he was getting LASIK done and blah, blah, blah. And something about that just triggered in me, like, wait a minute, how did we just have this conversation in church about not changing our appearance and not, you know, doing all this stuff and doing that? And it's probably not a big deal, but it affected me and sent me down a different rabbit hole in a different direction. So
it was a big deal for you.
It was contradictory to what he was saying, and I still love him. He's a great priest, but yeah, it changed my path, most definitely. And I just consider myself more spiritual, you know, and realize that I don't necessarily need to have a middleman that I have to go to be forgiven for anything that I may or may not have done. But yeah, I've always just felt connected to the divine in the sense of just having a one-on-one conversation, maybe sitting out in the woods, or, you know, sitting on a pier fishing.
So you no longer support the attend or anything?
So now, not really. Both Joey and I became pastors in the Universal Life Church organization, and, you know, I don't know. We don't go to a structured church at this point in time. I did start going to a spiritualist church when I lived in Indiana, and that was phenomenal. I really loved that, and it really lit my fire again. And then we, you know, life happened, and I moved from Michigan to Texas with the airline, Texas to New Mexico, etc. And just haven't really found that type of church around here.
Did you guys meet in Michigan?
No, but we were in Michigan at the same time frame.
I was walking around each other all this time in Michigan, but
probably didn't realize it yet.
Right. Yeah, and that's something that we've discussed. No, we actually met in New Mexico when I got hired on with Southwest Airlines. I took his position because he was out
with a shoulder injury.
Yeah, he was out with an injury, so they hired me in, and when he came back, they moved me to a different department, and but we became really good friends.
He took your day off, bro.
Yeah.
one day, this is kind of so
Oh,
stupid,
Joey.
but
Wait. Joey, are you sleeping with the enemy?
I converted her.
That's so funny. You had all these coincidences where you guys were in the same place at the same time and didn't know it, and then you end up replacing him while he was out of work.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Directly, like y'all are gonna meet now, this time.
Yes.
Exactly. And as soon as we met, we just hit it off. We were really great friends, and
Not that very first time.
Well, the very first time, we were in training in the same room together, and I was in one corner on a computer in this lab, and he was in the opposite corner on a computer in this lab. And Southwest Airlines always had a bunch of snacks for everybody, so I went over to the snack cabinet, and there was this big bowl of dum-dum suckers, and I walked over to him and I said, "Would you like a dum-dum?" And he looked at me like I had 5 heads. It was so uncomfortable. I don't think he even took a dum-dum, and I just went back to my corner and went back to my training.
Oh my God, how embarrassing.
That's cute.
So
Now I
Joey,
just joke around and say he still got a dum-dum. So
Joey, being that we went to rival schools, I know we were pretty much programmed into the similar path of thought, frame thought. What was it hard for you to pull yourself out?
A little bit, I would say, at first, but I mean, the more you start researching, the more you start, again, researching, but I mean, the more you start looking into things, you start waking up. I mean, and like you say, I mean, you start waking up, there's a lot of rabbit holes out there that you start going into, and that one rabbit hole leads to 5 more. Those 5 more lead into 10 more. And I mean, the journey is just an amazing journey. And I mean, I think the hardest part of any journey is that first step. I mean, once you want to open up your eyes, it's there for you. But you have to break the mold of yourself to move forward.
All right. All right. Huh. So how did y'all get from the airline industry to opening up a store?
when we were working at Southwest Airlines, I had mentioned that I always wanted to go to New Orleans and see the French Quarter. So, we would hitchhike on our days off, non-rev, take a flight to the French Quarter, hang out, maybe stay the night, and then we'd get back on a plane the next day and go back to New Mexico. And it got harder to leave. It was extremely emotional. I would feel like I couldn't talk because I would cry. I felt like I was leaving home. And, I'm an Aquarian, and you're probably going to see this in the chart somewhere, that I like to fly by the seat of my pants and make snap decisions. Mm-hmm. And one day I said to Joey, "Oh my gosh, look, they're hiring in New Orleans. We should try to get a job there." And literally, we both had interviews. I think I was with the company at that point like 3 years, and you were there like 17. So he got the job, I didn't. So we ended up moving here on, Southwest dime. They moved us out here, and Joey continued his path with the airline industry, and I actually went to college to become a certified clinician medical assistant and phlebotomist.
Oh wow.
Well, all right. Oh, I forgot. Michelle, what are your gifts?
I can draw blood. I'm kidding. Actually, not kidding. I can. So yeah, going back to my childhood, because I had that mentor, her name was Betty, and she was wonderful. I was so open to the metaphysical stuff. And all my life, I had intuitive stuff. I had precognitive dreams. I had situations where I would just know something was going to happen, and it did. so I kind of played with that throughout the years. I mean, even in the 90s, I was reading oracle cards and tarot cards and doing dream interpretation and numerology type stuff on a website. I would flow into it and flow out of it, etc. But it was when I was in the medical industry, you know, I saw things that I didn't want to believe was happening, and some deception, and, you know, just things that drove me out of there. But I had to be in that profession, and I had to see the things that were going on to help me on my path and my journey. And I still continued to be in that medical field for a few years, even though universe was nudging me, you know, like, this isn't working. I would dread going to work, and I would just continue to go.
Were you doing tarot and oracle readings while you were in the medical field?
I was doing them through email, and, you know, but not professionally. I was just kind of, at that point, just for friends and such that would reach out to me. But even though I still continued to be in the medical profession, universe was definitely nudging me and saying, hey, you know what, you're miserable. And I obviously wasn't listening. And when that happens, universe makes changes for you regardless. And it's usually not in a pleasant way. So I had to have ulnar surgery on my arm. So they had to, like, move the ulnar nerve because of the repetition of when I was drawing blood. It caused this issue. So while I was in my recovering, I saw, well, I'm a documentary nut, you know, like, give me geek TV, I am happy all day. And I saw a documentary on this thing called the crystal light therapy bed. It moved me. Like, I'm getting choked up now.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
So Joey comes home from work that day, and I'm like talking 50 miles an hour with gusts of up to 100, right? About this thing I just saw on TV and this whatever. And he looks at me and he's like, how much medication did you take today? Because I was still taking pain meds. And so anyhow, we sat down, we watched this documentary together, and probably like 3 or 4 days went by.
Yeah.
And we were in the kitchen doing dishes together because he's that kind of man. And he just looked at me and he said, I don't know what we're going to do with this crystal light therapy thing, but we're going to get it because it needs to be out here for people.
Yeah.
And
Is that how you got into the crystal work that you do?
yeah, so that literally, like, we had no intent to have a business. It wasn't really in our mind. We just wanted to get this bed.
Joey.
Yes.
What made you make that statement?
All right. For me, like I said, we watched the video. I mean, it was impressive. I mean, it was an impressive video. And it's like, I think the biggest thing was, if this can do half of the things that it was said to do, it's like, we got to bring it. I mean, like she said too, I mean, universe speaks to us.
So it was like,
Sorry, you broke up?
oh, what, it was calling. It was calling to you.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, I mean,
So,
and in actuality, I think we got, the day that I said, let's get it, we actually got our tax refund.
Oh yeah,
So
it was insane.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
Nice.
money came where there was no money. It was just as if we were just in sync with the flow of the plan.
Synchronization.
It's synchronicities, exactly. And I feel so strongly that once we put it out vocally into the universe, we set that vibration, and everything just happened. And I think within a week, we had a storefront, we had our signs, and each step of the way we're like, what are we doing? Oh my gosh. And it was funny because when
it's time to back out.
when we got
back out
right now.
all right.
When-
So, Joey,
Yes.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Now I just heard your answer. All right. Now, how much of that answer, the percentage of that answer goes with having a Mercury and a Libra? How
Hmm.
much was it a good idea? And how much was it, hey, I got to support my woman?
That balancing act, the Libra
I,
scales, the
I
thought.
would probably say, yeah, it's 50-50. I
Hmm.
mean, like I said, the video impressed me. And I mean, so did the enthusiasm of Michelle. I mean, I I knew because I mean it was gonna be at first her baby. I mean, it was something that I knew I was still working with Southwest, so I didn't have the time that I would love to have put into the shop. But I mean, the universe like has a way of guiding you and letting you know what needs to be done. And I think those were the first initial steps of the business forming for us. And I mean, every year since inception, we've grown into a bigger location.
All
I mean,
right.
every year we've actually moved from where we were
To a
to a
bigger
bigger
location.
location.
What are your actual gifts?
What was that?
What is your actual gifts, Joey? What do you what do you do?
I mean, for me, I guess Reiki's my strong suit. I mean, I use she she's trying to get me more into readings, but
He's good.
it's
He's really good at doing readings.
it just takes a lot of energy from me. So I know I'm not doing something right probably,
What
but
kind of things are you guys talking about?
I do Tai Chi. I mean, I've been in martial arts since I was probably 7 or 6.
Wow.
So I mean,
Claudia just started a martial arts class.
I did jujitsu.
Cool.
oh, very cool.
Nice.
I've
Thank you.
done Ishinru, Taekwondo, Kung Fu, Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, and I mean, I've kind of just formed it all into. I mean, as always, some parts you don't like, some parts resonate with you. Some you just take what works for you, and you just kind of make it your own style.
Yeah, absolutely.
How does
That's
that
awesome.
translate into readings? Or is it more like classes?
So we do oracle card readings.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do mediumship readings, and Joey does oracle card readings as well. Sometimes when we're providing a service, or not necessarily Joey so much, but if I'm providing Reiki on a person or chakra testing and balancing, I'm working so in their energy field that if I receive intuitive spikes or intuitive hits, I always ask the client, and I can never promise it happens, but I'll ask them, if I do receive these intuitive hits, would you like me to talk to you about them at the end of your session? And they'll say yes or no, depending on their religious beliefs, and that's fine. But I feel like if it comes to me in those sessions, it has to do with a particular healing that they need, because that's what they're there for, is a healing. So 9 times out of 10, that's exactly what it is. Something will
So,
come up, and I'll
so
just
both of y'all do Reiki?
yes.
All right. Did did you did you guys start on your own, or did she bring you in, Joey? Or
I was been into Reiki for a while. I mean, it's kind of like Kundalini yoga. I mean, I've dabbled in different things in military because I mean, it was just one of those. Still, I mean, when I was a Marine in California, so it's called a Hollywood Marine. So it's still part of that time frame where, uh, indirectly, I guess I was a hippie Marine too, because following yoga and stuff like that, it was like I wanted to learn other things. And I mean, knowledge is great. I mean, just to have your beliefs and see what's the best parts of Kundalini yoga. I mean, it's like it's amazing once you actually get the energy vibrating and moving through your body, the feeling that you get. I mean, it's just again, like say, with we refer back to martial arts. I mean, that's your inner energy that helps you break boards, break concrete, break ice. I mean, you see yourself as an energy being going through another form of energy, but you perceive or you already see that act happening, and you already know where your hand needs to go whenever you're doing whatever the case may be. I mean, it's an amazing experience, amazing trip.
Claudia, are you paying attention to what this Sag rising is saying?
I am.
Claudia is a Sagittarius moon, and her moon sign is in would be in your ninth house. Where your Jupiter and uh, Venus are.
Well, no, my moon is technically in his first
No,
house.
yeah, huh?
My moon is in his first house.
Well, yeah. If you're doing a synastry chart. Speaking of, would y'all like to see your synastry chart?
Yes.
Sure.
This is a chart of, like, if you take both of y'all charts and put it on top of each other.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's what it looks like. Some of the things that Claudia was really begging to get to, I'm pretty sure, is all that 12th house energy, right?
Yeah.
No, and also like the combination of planets. Well, one of them has it in the seventh house. I think it's Michelle. Has it in the seventh house?
Yes, Michelle.
Wow.
So basically, where one shows it in private, the other shows it to other people.
Well, actually, this would be the synastry chart here. So, yeah, he brings.
I'm sorry. I also love that I noticed both of you are born on the day number 9. You're both exactly 2 years apart. You're both born at, one is at 2:15 I think, and the other's at 11:15.
Gosh,
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool too. What else? I noticed those. Those are pretty cool. There's a lot of similarities in your chart. It's almost like as if like you were like twins in a way.
Yeah. So like she has the moon, Mars, and Neptune in the 7th, right? And then
Yeah.
he has the same
And the 12, yeah.
moon and Neptune in the 12th, but both of them have all of those in Scorpio. So yeah, like you're saying, like twin. And like she reflects it more outwardly in relationships, one-on-one relationships, and he's more private about it. He keeps it he's more close, like keeps it to himself, or maybe shy about expressing those mystical planets, emotions, intensity.
Yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's why I had her. Well, that's why I wanted her to start talking. Because Paul made her go reverse.
Yeah. And then another thing I noticed is
wait. It's funny. It's funny he said that. Check it out. Where's her sun and Mercury fall in his chart?
In the 10th house.
No, in his chart right here.
In his, it's a 3rd.
In the 3rd, yeah.
Communication.
Mm-hmm.
So her sun sign, her Aquarius, and her mind falls in your 3rd house of communication. So maybe since being with her, you may have opened up and become a little bit more talking more.
Yeah, Michelle gets the talking out of him. No, but you know what I find interesting is that both of you are probably at some point, maybe like not consciously knowing, but at some point in both of your lives you wanted something that was probably a little bit more spiritual or more like spiritually inclined, because the both of you have really like deep, heavy, like spiritual energy in your chart, and so you both come together and you come to an understanding of like what it is to be spiritual in your own individual ways, right?
Claudia, would you say that is the 12th house energy?
The 12th house.
Spiritual
Absolutely.
and not
And
religious?
absolutely. And Michelle spoke about I think when your grandfather passed away.
Yeah, my dad. Yeah, my
Your
father.
dad, sorry, your dad. With smelling the roses. Her Venus is in Aries, Paul. Like right there. And then you also mentioned you're like that something like set you like on fire. I also thought that was interesting because you have this entire stellium in your 12th house, which means that there's so much concentrated energy around like the collective conscious. Like, do you like you guys are probably telepathic with each other, right? Like, you don't have to always say words. Like, you could just understand what one or the other thinks.
Just what everyone wants in a relationship is to just read my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll finish each
Basically.
other's sentences. And
Now, here's some behind the scenes that you guys don't know. Y'all can't see this. You see her 12th house here? The stellium?
Yeah.
What sign is it in?
And
Aries.
Aries.
Aries?
Yeah.
Do y'all find it interesting that Joey's mother is an Aries moon?
Mm, yeah.
Nice.
And now he's married to someone with an Aries stellium, the North Node, Venus, Saturn.
To that we marry our parents.
Yeah.
Someone like our parent.
Well, no, he's attracted to Aryan type energy.
Strong, brave women.
Yeah.
Oh, to a Venus and Aries
But let me
female.
ask you a question. Why do you think he is attracted to Aryan energy? Let's look at his fifth house.
Oh, he.
Oh yeah, he's got Saturn in Aries.
What else in
Oh,
Aries?
they both have Saturn.
And the North Node.
So why is he
both
attracted to
have
Aryan
that.
energy?
Yeah.
Oh, because he's got to be more independent, like an Aries.
Oh, what's the fifth house?
Leo.
Well, what's fifth house represent?
Create or
Love, risk,
Love.
taking risks.
Yeah, but I was going to love. And so he loves her.
that Aries energy.
Yeah, but when
They
she
both have Saturn and the North Node in Aries. I'm just seeing that too. Y'all have a lot in common, like so much in common.
he loves when she is really Aryan like with her spirituality.
Mm.
So the whole
Well, she's a businesswoman with Mystic Bayou Healing Center. Like, come on. that ignited an entire fire within this
Yeah.
whole dynamic.
would you say the businesswoman would be because of you see the cusp?
Yeah.
He's got the Capricorn on the midheaven.
But remember, Aries are also very entrepreneur-like.
They're pioneering. Yeah, that's true. And her being more pioneering in the spiritual world.
Yeah, like starting something completely new.
Going into the darkness, blind, feeling it out, and being brave with it.
Speaking of going into darkness, Michelle, would you like to speak of some of the darkness you had to
Absolutely.
to get to this point?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, before you say that, Michelle is a day birth. So in a day birth, Mars is her malefic out of set, which is going to be not a good planet for her, right? And the moon is in fall in Scorpio.
Challenging planet.
Yes. And the moon is in fall in Scorpio. And she also has Neptune in Scorpio right here, right? What does Scorpio rule? What's topics of Scorpio energy?
Sex, birth,
Death,
death,
rebirth,
the afterlife,
transformation.
regeneration, transformation.
All right. So Michelle, you want to go ahead and tell these ladies about your story?
Sure. So I had 4 children, and 2 boys, 2 girls, and I lost both of my sons to 2 separate accidents, 3 years and 7 days apart. One was 19, that was my son Cody, and Sean, he was 8 years old. So Shawnee passed first, and he was struck by a car at daycare, and that was March 27th of 2004, and he passed away on April 1st, 2004, due to his injuries. And then Cody, again, like I said, 3 years, 7 days later, again in April, he was in a car accident and was killed instantly.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, so it definitely put me on another path. And when Sean passed away first,
Stop. What year? You said 2004?
2004.
And look right here. D
Oh,
and,
yeah,
and
the
Claudia.
Mars period.
Wow.
What period is active right here?
That's Moon
Mars.
Mars, Moon. Where's our Mars and Moon?
Wow.
That's hard.
Wow.
That's really hard.
In relationships.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it being Mars, you said it was car accident. Both of them were car accidents?
Yes.
Wow.
It's hard.
That is
Alright.
So hard.
that is a
Uh,
harsh.
I just wanted to show them the timing where Mars was active. You said the year 2004.
Yeah. Does it show up for 2007 as well? April 2007?
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
in 2007, it was in Mercury, right?
April.
Well, for April, it would be still in Venus.
Yeah, and it'd be the Venus. And
But it's still a moon period with Venus being
yes, it'd be.
secondary.
But
And
Venus is in a bad place there in the 12th house next to Saturn.
What is the 12th house?
The house of loss.
secret.
You
Wow.
lost something. You lost something you lost something. A female.
Her son.
Her son.
Yeah. Two sons.
Yeah. So,
And also you said it was a moon period, and the moon is family.
yeah, during the moon period, her moon is in the 7th house, relationships. She lost 2 people. During the Mars period, she lost 1 person, and during the Venus period, she lost another person in 12.
Wow.
All right.
That's some heavy stuff. I'm so sorry that you went through that.
Now, continue, Michelle.
But it's for a purpose.
It is for a purpose. So it took me a long time to kind of realize that. So after Sean passed away, that was my 8-year-old. I really went into the dark night of the soul. I went deep into the depths of darkness and what I say is hell. And I became, not the person I am today, that's for sure. And thank God. But, I was drinking heavily. I was self-medicating through alcohol to numb any and all feelings. And once I started to kind of come out of that, I had kind of an awakening. I was actually driving home from a local bar that I was bartending at, because hey, if I can work there and drink, it was great. So I'm driving home and I'm drunk, and my car just stops, just comes to a complete stop, and I can't get anywhere. And I audibly heard a voice that said, "What are you doing?" And, I had this realization of, oh my God, Michelle, get your crap together. What are you doing? You're driving drunk. You could, why would you want to risk taking a child from somebody else, or creating, causing a death of a loved one for somebody else and having them go through what you're going through? Mm-hmm. So that kind of changed my thought pattern. So I start working on myself, and I'm coming up out of it. And literally I was not even up, and I was sucker punched again when Cody passed away. And I literally hit the floor on my knees and just cried out to God and said, "Can't do this without you."
Right.
And
You
and I
have a
made
very
a
strong
conscious,
mission.
I definitely made a conscious choice at that point, you know, to live, because at that point I could have gone either way. And you know, my youngest daughter was 6 months old at that time, and you know, I knew that I had to be there for her, because she, you know, she didn't ask for any of this, and you know, I had to be a better person. And once I made that conscious choice, again, synchronicities happen. You're living your life in alignment to your purpose. And you know, I knew that my boys were still around me. I still feel them. They still give me messages. And definitely I knew, just knowing in my heart, that this was a pact that both the boys and I made before we incarnated on this planet. And I had to be in this role to help them come in for their short period of time so that they could stay on their evolutionary ascension path. And I was also going to be able to ascend spiritually as well. And I wholeheartedly believe that, because I had dreams, precognitive dreams, about both of their deaths. For Sean, I dreamt them ever since he was a tiny baby.
I have a
And
question.
sure.
That's all.
I have a question. Have you considered writing about this?
Oh my gosh, I cannot even believe you said that. So it's been on my heart to do this, because I feel like I have a story, but I'm
Yes.
scared about the writing process and don't know how to do it. And
Well, you know, the Mercury is next to her midheaven, and like look at
keeps
where her
coming
north
up.
node is. You have to. There's something you gotta write and
Yeah,
communicate to
that
like the
keeps coming
world.
up.
story to tell that could help other people who have been through.
No, there's a huge story in your chart that you need to tell.
Wow.
It's and then you have to spread it to a lot of people.
Wow. And you know, that's something that keeps coming up in readings for me, is
Yeah.
that same thing. And I don't know what blocks me other than fear.
It's
But what
intimidating. It can be intimidating to write
It
something.
might take you a while. It might take you your whole life to get over that, but you have it in you, and
So
I'm sure eventually you'll get it.
I have to show you this, because
what's this right here?
I just bought this the other day, and I told Joey, when I have a chance, I'm just going to start writing things.
There's
you
like
know,
a book
things
in
that I
you.
remember,
You have a book in you.
and then put it together somehow, some way. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Look right here.
Yeah.
What's this?
Hold on, you've got two. Which one's outer?
Well, it's like Pluto and Venus,
Pluto
but
Yeah,
it
but
you could see
wait,
it very
wait. Look at the
clearly.
degree. Look at the degree of Pluto,
act on her mid.
Yeah, it's
and
right
look at the
there,
degree on her midheaven.
right there.
What's that mean? D. What's this? What does Pluto sitting on her midheaven mean?
The transformation of
It's your calling. You
uh,
have a calling.
Yeah,
I
but
your career,
this is
like
the
what you're looking
transit. This
for.
is the transit right here.
Uh-huh.
Pluto is sitting right on the top of your chart.
In the ninth house of like stories.
Yeah, so it's you're undergoing deep transformation right now,
Oh, wow.
and it's public,
Wow.
out in the open.
You just went public with it.
Wow.
So now
Well, we are on a
you're-
podcast that's going to be released to the internet.
now you can write about it.
Wow.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
No, but
I'm a writer too, and I definitely have a problem with long-term writing. I mostly do like poetry and short stories, but you know, like you said, just write a little bit, get a little bit off your chest, journal.
no. But I think
And
it's
eventually you put it all together and you have a nice big long book about, you know, what you've gone through and how you can help people.
I think
it
it's
goes
truly,
very deep.
it's really about the organization. Organization is not my friend. So for me
Hence the
to
Virgo.
be in my head about how to organize and put it together, it's overwhelming, and then I shut down.
I'm the same way.
What's sitting on top of her Mercury right now?
Saturn. No, but what I find fascinating, is that both Chiron and the North Node are in conjunction at 0 degrees. So like your wound is also like part of
Your
your soul mission.
destiny. Yeah.
Your
Oh
this
my
huge
gosh.
wound that you carry
Mhm.
is like part of like what you're here for too. So it's like
Yeah.
inevitable. It was always inevitable.
Your sole purpose.
Um
So if you put it in the sign Aries, what would and go back to her story?
well, think about it. Aries is impulsivity and like car crashes. Like it's inevitable. Like
Yeah, yeah, but
you
think
had
about this.
you
Wait, what does Aries do? It has the sword. It likes to cut things away. And in her
yeah,
wait. And in her story, she said, I made a decision to what? Not let
Live.
this. Yes.
yeah, but I wouldn't put Aries with cutting things away. That's more Martian quality.
No. No.
Aries is what's happening in her chart is a seed, the beginning of something completely new, like
Yeah.
a whole direction.
But what I was getting at is the last thing that D said to finish. If you think about Aries energy, Aries is the warrior
Yeah,
on the battlefield. And on a battlefield, it's life or death, kill
absolutely,
or be killed. And she said,
absolutely.
hey, I'm not gonna let this,
Yeah, she's a warrior. She's not gonna let it kill her
yeah,
ever.
which goes to what you were just saying.
I would even go as far to call you a spiritual warrior with all of what you're going through and all the
Wow.
planets in your 12th house, and with what you do with mediumship and the Reiki and the crystals, and that's all healing. That's all spiritual Pisces energy. And you
Wow.
have it in Aries.
Sorry about the dogs. My daughter just walked in and the dogs are barking at her. He's a little blind. It's
No
funny
problem.
that
I can
you
add it.
said
I can
something
add it.
that really touched me deeply because on that path, I started to journal on a website that's not even out there anymore, and it was for bereaved parents, and people started gravitating to me and wanting to hear my story and wanting to have me help them straighten out their path, I guess, to help them. And I didn't want to just tell them my story. I wanted to have some education behind what I was doing.
Guru,
I knew, as bereaved parents were on that fence, and I
you're a
never
guru.
went the wrong way. So I took a grief counseling certification course. Of course, I let that certificate go, but I have the knowledge of it. So I used that, and I started a website called Wounded Healer. So
Chiron,
Yeah, that's Chiron.
That's what the Chiron is called, the wounded.
wounded healer.
what?
Yes.
Straight up.
In
If you
Greek mythology,
Google, go
If
ahead.
you Google Chiron in Greek mythology, Chiron was actually known as the wounded healer. He
Oh
was
my,
a half man, half horse, and the whole mythology is that Chiron could heal everybody, but he couldn't heal himself. He couldn't heal his own wounds.
oh my
So he was a
gosh.
teacher, so he would teach others how to heal their wounds.
My
But the
God.
whole irony is that he couldn't heal himself.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my
So he was shot
gosh.
by an arrow, and he couldn't
or
like get rid of that
I'm like,
arrow at
yeah.
all.
That's crazy.
No,
Wow.
it's very symbolic. You have a very symbolic chart and you have
Wow.
a very strong purpose. It's very strongly defined in your chart.
Wow.
Very strongly defined.
Wow.
But she has to get over what?
Oh, I don't know.
The
I don't know
What
what
would
you're
you
trying to
Jupiter
say.
Uranus. But she's just a specific type of genius.
Well, she needed to find balance with sixth house,
Yeah.
daily health and routines.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, but
Jupiter,
geniuses need I would say like just different routines, right?
yeah. So listen, if you take her being a sun, a day
Birth.
day birth, Jupiter is her good planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put it in the sixth house of daily routines and health.
Oh.
And what is Mystic Bayou's slogan? We're doing what?
Balancing body, mind, and spirit.
Which is your 12th house, by the way.
And she's like
Body, mind, and
anything that she
spirit.
has this
Yes.
polarity in her chart.
Yes,
Balancing
but you
the
put
side.
balancing Libra in the sixth house, health.
Health,
Oh my God.
body, mind, and then
With
spirit is the 12th.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Ain't that awesome?
By the way, in your chart, you have Pluto in the 5th. What is the 5th?
In Virgo.
Yeah, but what is the 5th?
Creativity,
What else?
children.
Yeah, kids.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Pluto is deep transformation, and you Virgo,
Healing.
analytical. So when it came to your kids, you had an event that sent you into deep transformation, but to survive that, you had to become very analytical about the situation.
Mhm. I would agree.
And since you did, I mean, that's where free will came in. You made a conscious choice. I wasn't gonna let this kill me. And once you found that balance, what would you say? What would y'all say Uranus being there is? Strange and unusual. So she has a strange and unusual way to bring balance to your mind, body, and spirit.
Right.
Why
Yeah.
did y'all move? Why did y'all move to Mississippi?
Again, it was one of those things it's our theme, I guess. We
Home.
didn't really have any plans to move. Here we're in the middle of COVID, people are shut down. We had to close our business for, several weeks in Louisiana. And again, just
Well,
one day the
wait,
thought
wait,
came, we should
wait,
buy a
wait.
house.
No, wait. How did the community receive y'all in Louisiana?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, okay. So we never felt really like we were at home in Louisiana, especially with the business. We never purchased a home. We were always renting. We'd lived there since 2013. So it just never felt like home. We didn't plant our roots.
What did the people say about the business?
They were very negative, called us witches and evil. And even a landlord at one of our locations had emailed me several, like 30 pages of Bible verses talking about how psychics and mediums should be stoned and killed. And, it hurt my heart because, I like to say I don't care what people think, but I really do. I take it to heart and it affects me and I dwell on it. And, Joey's the opposite, but it hurt. But we never really fit, I guess. And we didn't ever join the Chamber of Commerce. And then lo and behold, things just got a little weird with CBD products, which we sell at our store in Louisiana. And there was a lot of regulations. And, we were seeing people that were doing really well on it, not being able to have it. So we were like, hey, let's buy a home. Let's start looking in Mississippi. And everything fell into place. Like we didn't even think that we could purchase a home because I hadn't taken a paycheck in almost 3 years.
Which is
And
really, really hard for a Taurus rising.
and
How was that, not receiving a paycheck for that time for you?
it was okay because
Be honest.
it was hard. It was hard. It was hard. I like to just,
Hey, but it totally sucked.
Listen.
I got through it. It sucked.
The reason I'm saying that is because I've spoken to a couple of Tauruses before and mentioned, like for instance, a Taurus teacher was retiring, and her husband had started his own real estate business, and she didn't know what she was gonna do. I said, "Well, won't you help your husband?" And she said, "I can't do that. I need a paycheck every 2 weeks." Real estate, you don't get a paycheck every 2 weeks. I can't do it. And so that's why I asked you that question.
Yeah, it was hard. I mean, it truly was. But again, just things happened where we had money. It was just synchronicities, and we didn't. I don't know. We didn't really want for anything. I guess we were taken care of. Universe had our back, and yeah. So we end up.
The main reason I asked you that question is Uranus is strange and unusual. 6th house is daily routines and health. 6th house is what we do on a daily basis. And you do in the community, y'all was considered strange and unusual.
Oh,
That's
wow.
alternative health.
Yeah.
All witches, warlock, and whatever else name they wanted to
So,
tag.
yeah, it was tough. It was really hard. And, the concept of, oh, this magical crystallite therapy, they just labeled us as woo woo and whatever.
Yeah, you're in the Bible Belt, so it kind of makes sense that you would come across some opposition like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Yeah, and
do
I
you
wasn't even thinking that.
do you see mediumship in the chart?
I kind of see a lot of it in her 12th house. That's what
That's
I
what
kind of related to.
Yeah, that's where I was going to
Hmm.
as well.
But the Uranus in the 6th house of service, daily routine, that could also be work, like sudden erratic changes in your day-to-day job, like what you were doing in your routine. There's just sudden shocking changes that, like, I guess more recently started to work out in your favor.
Ooh, D, I'm glad you said that. You said sudden, shocking. Shocking is what? Is what?
Oh,
Energy, right?
shocking energy.
No, but shocking is like,
Oh, shocking, like to the people around you, like,
yeah,
oh, y'all are
yeah.
weird.
And what is and they are Reiki masters.
Yeah.
And what is Reiki? Shocking energy on a daily health and
Mhm.
routine.
Interesting.
Yeah. By the way, you heard yesterday I got accused of not using the outer planets, right? I just used the outer
That
planet.
with tea.
Man, man. Oh, ooh, we've been rolling. Michelle, you feel like displaying your gifts?
Yeah. You want me to pull some cards for y'all?
Who wants that? D, you want to step up today and get some cards pulled for you?
All right, I guess we'll do me this time, Claudia.
So it was funny.
You already had your oracle drawn by them, I'm sure.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
We haven't done that, have we?
no. Well,
Why
tell you
not?
what, you could pull some cards for all of us if you feel like whatever you feel like doing. The show is yours.
So I am actually in the moment. I'm really drawn to D, and I think Paul, when you were talking about her and I having similarities, I was hit with some things that I won't share on here, but maybe we can do a little something when the recording's not going, and it might be extremely personal. So yeah, something that's just came to me, and I feel like it's worth mentioning. And if it happened, it happened. If not, not. But yeah. So we're just gonna kind of see what universe has to say about what's going on in your life right now.
Okay. I'm nervous.
You're nervous. Me too. Gosh, we should have some like Jeopardy music going on or something.
Or I add that in the mix down.
My daughter's in the kitchen doing it for me. She's funny.
I hear her.
So are you pulling up like doing a whole spread?
I've shuffled the thought into the cards. I've laid them out, and I'm using my left hand, which is my indicator hand, just to draw some cards.
What's the difference? What's the difference between the use of the hands?
I feel energy more in my left hand, so I just prefer it for myself.
Oh, all right.
I know that the left side of the body is supposed to be the more feminine side, the right side more masculine. So the left would be like receiving, and the
Yeah,
right would be more giving.
absolutely. So yeah, left is receiving, and your right is giving. Okay. So the first card that I get for you, sorry, I'll hold it up for you so you can see it.
All right, so is it tarot or oracle?
This is an oracle deck that I like to use.
Stuck in the mud.
Stuck in the mud. So this shows up recent past, could still be in it, feeling just stuck, like you can't really move forward, you're not. And I see the moon back here too, and that indicates a transition, but blockages in that transition. So it totally goes in line with feeling like you're stuck in the mud. Not necessarily moving forward, not necessarily moving back, but if I had to put it, the way I feel about it is as if you're trying to run in waist high water, okay? Maybe even trying to force something that's just not the right time, the right timing. So you just have to sit in that moment and just be still a little bit and try not to feel like you're stuck in the mud, and really use that as a period of going deep within. And the next card that I get is Ghostlands. And look, it has astrology all over it here. I don't know if you can even see that.
Let me take a look at it. Okay, I kind of see the clock and the symbology of the signs behind. Okay.
Okay, so and then basically this is just piggybacking on the feeling stuck, or not maybe necessarily getting what you want when you want it. I always say want, we want what we want when we want it, and we have to sometimes be forced to
wait,
be in one position to wait. Exactly.
And
this indicates
the clock of that card. So
yeah, absolutely. So it absolutely indicates that in time, it's not going to be your timing. So universe is letting you know it's not in your timing, honey, it's in my timing, and it's going to be so much better than you even dream or even think it can be, but you have to wait. And I also get a sense of
so what that mean is, D, stop being mad at that t-shirt lady for taking 2 months with getting you your t-shirt. The universe has something better in store for you.
My Redbubble now, you can get coffee mugs, t-shirts, whatever.
So your third card is the Goblin card. And what strikes me on this card is the number 5. So number 5s, and I don't do too much in numerology anymore, but number 5s to me are positive change, okay? So, and there you can see all this beautiful sunlight and all this going through this dark forest, and all these little goblins are around. So what are little goblins? What are they there for? They're there to trip us up, to keep us in fear. So these can be thoughts popping into your head, that negative ego voice instead of our quiet soul voice, deterring you from continuing on your path, which inevitably is going to be wonderful. You just have to get here.
Coming through, and I just keep my eyes focused on the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, absolutely. And not listen to those little goblins that are trying to trip you up and keep you in a state of fear. And you're going to move forward, but right now it's just a time where you're just going to have to be patient. Okay, maybe do some inner work, going deep within, and definitely keeping your eye on the light there, and not letting the negative stuff deter you.
I have a big problem with the negative self-talk and the mean voices in my head. Thank you.
I find that last card very interesting. The woods. Yes.
Yeah, I'm in the woods.
No.
I'm in the woods, stuck in the mud.
I see the light. And what are you just completing?
The Saturn return.
Would you say you are on your way out of your Saturn return?
Yeah, and I even recently said this to my therapist, that I feel like with the Saturn return, Capricorn's about scaling the mountain. I feel like I finally reached the top and can finally see, the sun on my skin, the wind in my face, can see like what's ahead, like the glory of, not being blocked by this mountain. I mean, I still feel, like she said, a little bit stuck in the mud, and I've been having some issues with that. Her message really resonated with me. But as far as Saturn return goes, I feel like I can breathe again.
Yeah, you see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I'm coming out of the woods. I'm going toward the light.
That's pretty good. Claudia, feel like doing another one?
Are we gonna let Joey do
You
one?
what?
So
Oh, I
Joey,
think Joey should do one.
Oh,
Joey should pull Claudia's cards.
I don't have my deck.
Oh, he
My
does.
deck's at work.
by the way, this
Oh.
this will be a Virgo pulling some cards for a Pisces. To
I
our
would
Yeah,
love that.
Joey doesn't have his. Do you have your deck here?
I got one, but I don't. I like my other one better. But hold on.
Say-
We're
coming
pushing
says
you
the
into it.
Virgo. Says the
Gotta
Virgo. I
show
like
us.
the other one better.
And that's a thing too, is like y'all are very I know tarot readers, like they often like have like their special deck and like don't like for other people to use, like he wants to use his deck, he doesn't want to use your deck.
Yeah,
is
I mean,
it- isn't
he
that how it's supposed to
definitely has a favorite deck. I have a favorite deck. Some readers are, kind of weird about that, especially like having other people touch their cards. But
What's your stance on that?
I like to have people touch the cards because it works with energy. That's what everything is all about. So once they're shuffling, they're putting that energy, that thought into those cards. And then of course, I would clear them, with my smudging sage and, some crystals and such.
Oh, so you
Clear them.
let your people shuffle the
I
deck?
do. Yep.
Oh wow. Yeah, I've heard that you're not supposed to let people touch your deck.
Yeah, that's not, it's a preference.
Preferences.
Are you supposed to? I also heard you're supposed to be gifted your first deck. Is that true?
So, again, I
think
don't fit in a box and I'm not
that.
cookie cutter. So I completely do not understand that thought, that realm of thought.
What about getting yourself a gift?
Thank you. Yeah, why can't I go buy my own,
If
Yeah.
I
I'm
was
not gonna wait for somebody to gift them to
me
me.
a tarot deck, I would never have one.
Says the Aquarius.
The Aquarius likes to do things different.
Yep. So Joey did find a deck that he definitely resonates with. So he's
right.
doing some
Claudia,
shuffling.
Claudia, you ought to feel special.
I do. I really
You're
do.
getting you're reading 2 days in a
Because
row.
Joey doesn't do this publicly. He likes to do it private. So
When we
feel
have
special.
our cacao ceremonies and we do drumming and we're working with emotional traumas and releases through the heart chakra,
That's
at the
awesome.
end of that session, anybody who sticks around afterwards can either ask myself or Joey to pull a card for them. And, Joey will have people in tears with his message. It's just awesome.
But he,
Aw.
Just
he
pull one
hesitates,
card at the
he
end.
hesitates to deliver those messages.
I like that you do cacao ceremonies. I think those are awesome.
It's such a beautiful plant medicine.
One of my favorites.
Cacao.
Yeah, it's raw cacao is actually bitter in taste.
It's
Is that-
like kind of chocolatey, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's chocolate without all the
But it's-
nutrients taken out of it.
Okay.
but it's very much for like the heart chakra and to like open up and receive, like actual healing.
Michelle,
Absolutely.
Very nice.
Would you call yourself an alchemist?
No, I don't know why, but I don't. Like I don't know what I consider myself. I'm drawn to
Wait,
medicine
wait,
woman or
wait.
shaman.
Did you put this together?
Yes.
Isn't that what alchemists do?
Making tinctures and special potions.
Or is my
With this
definition of
brew?
alchemist wrong? I don't.
I believe you're
There's
correct.
types of alchemy.
Right.
What are they?
I don't know enough to like really comment on it, but
What's your definition of alchemy, Claudia?
Alchemists are transformational healers, right? People that can transform or transmute one thing to another.
Do they put?
you could even say that cooking is a form of alchemy. You're
Yeah,
putting
cooking is a form of
Mhm.
alchemy.
together to make a dish.
But you can also transform or
Just all
transmute
kinds of-
energy.
Hmm.
Also like energy alchemy.
Wow.
Yeah,
Now you're making me
I
think.
think Reiki would be part of alchemy.
Hmm.
And like going back to like what you were talking about being called witches in Louisiana, I never really resonated with being a witch ever
Mhm.
until like more recently, like, oh, is this what it means to be a witch is that I garden and grow my own herbs, and that I know how to
Exactly.
read the stars. Oh, just in the old days, it was like she can read at all. Oh, she's a witch, you know?
And that's exactly it. So it was that powerful female energy type that had the knowledge of the plant medicines and things like that. It was kind of double-sided because they would want that service and then turn around and then label that person when it no longer served a purpose for them.
Right.
And it was all about taking power away. So I guess, I don't resonate with the term witch. But I guess, if that's what I'm doing when I'm cooking my chicken noodle soup and I'm putting my herbs in there that I know are going to help my family when they have congestion or a cold, or I'm making my tinctures because I want to help people.
Or I know how to read astrology. I know how to read dream symbols. Like
Hey,
it just, I think the only problem with it is like, oh, it didn't come from a priest.
Yeah.
how did that
She doesn't know
full
how to read.
how did that full moon water turn out that you showed me you was making?
Oh my gosh, it's lovely. It's lovely. I'm drinking a little right now, and I'm actually going to add some to my bath water later this evening when I
Wait,
go
have y'all
into
ever
my
heard?
meditation.
Have y'all ever heard of that?
I have moon
No.
water. I haven't made any though since the blue moon in Libra like a few years ago.
Oh wow.
Well, can you tell the people how to make some moon water?
Yeah, absolutely. So this go round with this last wolf full moon, I did gem infused moon water. So it was like a double whammy. So I just take a glass bowl and a mason jar. And I don't like to tell or instruct people to put crystals in their water because some crystals are toxic and some crystals don't like water. So it's never really a good idea to do that. People do it. I don't. So I take a bowl and I take a mason jar and I put the mason jar in the glass bowl. And then I put all my crystals around the mason jar. And in the mason jar, I have spring water and, of course, the lid on it. So I'm getting the frequency of all the stones infusing into the water. But now I'm also placing outside to use the moon to infuse the moon's energy with the water and to also clear the stones. And then, of course, by the time I get out there the next day to bring it in, I've got the energy from the sun too.
Right.
So yeah, and then I just use it. You have to be careful because the moon amplifies, emotions. And
Drinking the moon water?
so I do.
Wait. Drinking the moon water amplifies emotions?
Well, moon water in general, whether you're drinking it or using it in your bath, you have to be very cautious about your emotional state because it's an amplifier of emotions. So you want to make sure that you are emotionally in a good state when you're using it. Now, if I woke up and I was feeling a little depressed or down, I wouldn't be drinking it today because it's going to amplify that. So yeah, you just have to be cognizant, aware of that.
And also, if you have moons in the moon water, be careful of which ones are toxic to drink, right?
Yeah, so I would never put stones in water, period. That's why they're outside of the mason jar, and that way the energy of the stones and the frequency of the stones can just kind of infuse through the glass. It's all about the frequency of the stones, not necessarily having them in the water.
Yeah.
But people do that, and people drink essential oils, which I don't get either.
Yeah.
It's sketchy and unsafe. So, and I think Joey's got some cards for you.
All right.
So
Can't wait.
Okay.
I got the special reading. 2 in a row.
Here's your first card.
ooh,
It's
Oh,
called the arrow. To me, I mean, as we know, once the arrow is launched, it's on a path to its target. And I mean, the target is, again, I resort kind of to military terms and stuff like that, but the target is the mission. You have a final destination that you are in direct alignment with. You're going in the right direction. I mean, the key thing is be true to yourself. Don't go astray. Stay focused, stay straight and aligned. Don't let the outside world interfere with your path. Don't sacrifice your beliefs to try to fit in. Be true to yourself. I mean, again, it's just stay focused. I mean, once what you want to do has already been launched in your mind. You already know what the end focus is. Just continue that path. You'll get to it. Your
Wow,
next,
thank you.
yeah, your next card, it's called Thunder.
Wow.
Okay.
And I mean, for
feel that.
me, this is, you have a great voice. Let it be heard. You know when buffalo run in a pack, how much force, how much noise, how much strength it has. Let your strength be heard. Again, it's still referring back to your arrow. Stay true to your path.
Yeah.
And you have so much power in that path that nothing will stop you. Just let it go. Be yourself. Be true to yourself. And again, the last card.
Emotional. You got this, Claudia. You can.
Oh my gosh, don't cry. I'm gonna cry at everything.
No, it's awesome. Thank you.
Tears of joy.
Last card is the spiral. Again, you have to listen to the first two cards. Stay true to yourself. Stay focused. Let your strength resonate with you. You'll have hiccups, steps, blocking steps that are in your path. But with the Thunder card, you're powerful enough to go to basically stampede over your problems. You just keep going straight. Those problems won't be there. You're gonna get rid of those problems. And in the very center of all the spirals, right here's your target again. You're staying focused. You're reaching your target. You may have to hit the steps, but you got the buffalo power. It's going over the steps.
Can that card also mean, because what I kind of pick up from that card is like you kind of feel like you're going around in circles.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like slowly ascending.
Correct.
Like toward it.
Right, because I mean, and that's like, yeah.
So as Joey was reading this card here, the spiral, of course, you know, it reminds me of fractals or what we put out. Like, I feel this is closely connected to a dream, a passion that you have, and that's going to be the rippling effect. It's going to go out to everybody. So it's bigger than yourself. So I don't know if that resonates with you, but it's just something that struck me with that card.
That was really amazing. Thank you so much. As you could tell, like that was awesome. That hit me. It hit me like in a very specific way. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I kind of want to make a connection to your chart too, because you have Sagittarius moon. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which is Zeus, the god of thunder, and his lightning bolt arrows that just showed up in your card reading. That might have something to do with your moon.
You mean me?
Yes, because you have the Sagittarius moon and the thunder and arrows. Zeus is the god of thunder with his lightning bolt arrows.
That's true.
With direction, that Sagittarius, the archer, like, I don't know, that I kind of picked up on your astrology when he was picking that up.
That could make some sense. Yeah, I could see that. It's definitely.
By the way, Claudia, you also have two people talking to you with some strong 10th house energy.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it's interesting the message that you specifically went with, because yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine, and I think I was asked a question like, oh, like, what are you doing, or what's going on, or whatever, and I was like, no, I'm just kind of like doing this and this, and that's it. Like, it seems like this is what the universe wants me to do, so I'm just sticking to this, like, just that's it. And yeah, it really resonated, so thank you. I appreciate it.
Do you always use a lot of warrior symbology in your readings, Joey?
I think I tend to, probably more than I should.
No, just do you, and that's your style. That's your experience. That's where you come from. I think you should use it.
Yeah. Plus you're talking to two Aries rising, so I think they really could resonate
That's true.
as well. Uh,
Down with
I
that
wanted to ask I
warrior.
wanted to ask you guys, Claudia and D. Joey is pretty talented, as Michelle says, and she always keeps trying to tell him to push his gifts out there, right? Would
He's
you
a
say that,
more shy
Michelle?
about it. He's more reclusive.
Yep.
Why would you say he hesitates with his gifts?
Is this Joey's?
Yes.
I don't know. What do you want? What do you want me to say?
What you see right here.
Oh, Saturn and Aries, right? And the
And
5th.
North Node in the 5th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hobbies,
Speaking to a
gifts.
Chiron in the 5th. You just gotta put it out there, Joey.
Yeah.
Well, actually his Chiron is in Pisces in the 4th.
I know.
But it's close. But yeah, being with that being your 5th house, pretty much you got to be the warrior. Put it on out there. Let your light shine.
I'm working on it.
Well, why do you think you've been in the military and jujitsu and all of that stuff? Trying
See,
to.
I think you're pointing to his 5th house. I'm seeing that he's allowing himself to display that Saturn, which would be like the obstacles he's overcome. It's in Aries. He's willing to display that warrior side more openly because Leo is the spotlight. So you're willing to showcase that. But then you have all these planets in your 12th house, which is more like your hidden side, your shy side. You're not expressing your moon as much. And then I was looking at his Placidus chart too, and I was noticing he has Pisces and Virgo are intercepted, which Pisces is spirituality. And if it's intercepted, he has a hard time expressing Pisces and Virgo energy.
I find that a lot of intercepted houses come with uh only child.
Oh, I hadn't heard.
I'm an only child.
Do you have do
I
you have
have an intercepted house. Yeah, I think it's Taurus and Scorpio or something like that.
I've
values and
actually never seen
security?
your chart, Claudia. You need to send me your chart.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So uh Joy and Michelle, how could the people of I Am Astrology readings get in touch with you if they would like to get a reading or something?
Easily. We do readings through Zoom. So if you just go to our website, mysticbayou.com, and send us an email, we can hook up that way and do the Zooms. Or if you're local to the area, you can give us a call, set up an appointment, and we can do the readings live.
All right. You how about the online store? Is that going yet? Is it coming? Like somebody asked me about one of those dragons in the store. I had took a picture.
Oh,
We
yeah.
love.
So again, it's one of those things that seems so big and it overwhelms. So we're working on it little by little. And, we are having classes and different things almost every night of the week. So, on our days off, we're picking at things, just trying to get it done.
What type of class do you have?
So most currently, Joey teaches a introduction to Kundalini yoga, learning breath work and bringing up that Kundalini energy. So we do that on Tuesdays. People can sign up for that class via our website, and it's an actual in our shop class. And then on Wednesdays, currently, we're doing classes on chakras and the colors of chakras and explaining to people how that chakra works in our system, and ways to detect if it's balanced or not balanced, and things to do to correct those balances. And Thursdays, we have our crystal singing bowl sound bath. So that lasts for about a half an hour. And currently right now, Fridays are pretty, I think the only day that we really don't have anything. And we're also teaching Reiki. So we have different Reiki courses, Reiki level 1, level 2, that we do on specific Saturdays. Intuition. Oh, and intuition, we have an Intuition 101 class that we teach people. Intuition is pretty much our first language. We've always had it. Everybody has it. To what degree, it just depends. So we teach people how to recognize how intuition speaks to them and how they can work that intuitive muscle. And getting into teaching mediumship as well. That's a course that we used to have at our old location, and we'll be announcing that date as well.
All right. I have one last question before I ask it. Do you have anything you want to say? You have any questions? Any of y'all have any questions?
I mean, I think we covered a lot. Just thank you so much for coming on and sharing your gifts with us, sharing your story. I know that probably is hard to talk about, and I think a lot of people probably appreciate you sharing that with us. I think you're going to help a lot of people who have gone through what you've gone through, Michelle. And thank you for sharing your readings with me and Claudia. I think they were both great.
Claudia, do you have a question?
No, I just want to reiterate literally what Dee just said. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your story with us. I hope that one day you get to share with millions of people. And thank you so much, Joey, for that reading. It was very, very heartfelt.
You're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed.
Yeah. All right. You ready for my last question?
Oh boy. Okay.
Your story started off with something you saw on TV, the crystal light bed. Whatever happened to that idea?
That idea started Mystic Bayou Holistic and Alternative Health.
And it's a story that's still ongoing.
Do you have one?
Oh, yes.
Wait, say that again.
Now we have a crystal light therapy bed. And the story's still ongoing.
Did y'all hear that, Claudia and Dee?
I did. It's amazing.
She had a vision. She saw something on TV. She said she wanted that. And I don't know how long it took her. How long did it take you to get that crystal light bed?
2 weeks. Once we put it into the hands of universe and spoke our intention, it literally, we were able to get it within about 2 weeks.
Yep, showed up in our apartment and took up a quarter of the apartment.
Oh, all right.
Ask and you shall receive.
What was the thing that y'all just put in the shop? The light thing with the chakra you was telling me?
So that's the crystal light therapy bed.
Oh, that's what that is?
That's what that is. Yeah. So it has
Oh.
Vogel cut crystals, and we work with color, frequency, chromotherapy, and frequency.
You know what? We assumed that everybody knew what that was. What is a crystal light bed?
So the crystal light bed is a multi-therapy session that anybody can use for many different reasons. So basically what happens is you lay on a massage table that has a jade and tourmaline mat on top of it that's heated. So jade and tourmaline has been used in Eastern medicine for centuries to help support the nervous system, the lymphatic system, and the immune system. And it also helps to detox our body, pulls the toxins out. So while you're laying on that, we use sound, so binaural sounds, so different frequencies to correct an issue. And how we pick that is when you come in, you fill out paperwork letting us know what your intent is or what you would like to receive from your session. So somebody might come in and say, I'm dealing with pain, or I'm dealing with addiction, or I'm dealing with depression. That's going to help us pick the binaural frequency that you're going to be listening to through a headset while you're laying on that massage table on the jade and tourmaline mat. And then we have a light bar that's on a stand, and it has Vogel cut crystals in it. So there's 7 of them, and those 7 Vogel cut crystals, clear quartz crystals, represent each of the 7 chakras that we work with and that most people are familiar with. And there's light that's infused through those. And if you don't know about Vogel cut crystals, they're named after the person who invented them, and that was Marcel Vogel, who put crystals in the original IBM computers. So he had done a lot of research with quantum physics and with crystals, and this specific design amplifies the healing energy of the crystals. So it's just infused with color as well. So we direct those over top of each of the chakra points, those 7 on our body, and you're listening to frequency. And then of course we're gonna, put some essential oils in the diffuser that are gonna work well with your session. So say you come in, you're dealing with depression, we'll play a binaural frequency that's gonna trigger your body or trigger your brain to produce specific chemicals or hormones like serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine, and we'll use essential oils that help with that as well. So maybe orange or pink grapefruit, something along those lines. And you have a 45-minute session or an hour session, and you come out and people inevitably say, oh my gosh, I feel like I've just had a massage for my soul, because it allows you to go deep inside yourself and release blockages and traumas. And I like to say it's like fizzy pop or fizzy soda. The bubbles just come up very lightly and dissipate, and you actually the system continues to work for about 7 days, and you might experience emotional releases throughout those 7 days, and you might just feel like crying, or you just might spontaneously laugh. And I always tell people, because we tend to get in our head, if I'm crying, why am I crying? Where is this coming from? Oh my gosh, it doesn't matter. It's tears that are healing. So just let it go. Don't be in your head, just release it. That's all you have to do.
That sounds amazing. That made me want to that makes me want to get on a plane and go over there and do one of those.
Come on.
That's what I was about to say. D, Claudia, you want to spend some of that stimulus money, come down to the casino, hang out with the old man, old Paul over here, talk some astrology, go visit Joy and Michelle, lay on a crystal bed, D, bring your husband, tell them to take one of Joey's Kundalini classes. You got 2 kids, you might end up with 3.
Oh God, Paul.
All right. I want to thank y'all for coming on the show and spending time with us. Also, being patient with me, being my detective, trying to find out your knowledge.
We definitely appreciate it very much.
Yeah, we enjoyed the invite.
It's been a pleasure and such a wonderful experience meeting you all. And definitely you have an open invitation anytime.
Thank you.
D, you want to tell the people how they can get into contact with you and all that?
Well, you can find me on my website at dream-astrology.com. I'm on Instagram and Reddit now. I have a Redbubble for my artwork if you want some artwork on t-shirts or scarves or mugs, coasters, whatever. And you can find me on those at D33 Universe.
D.
Yes.
Joey does the ordering for Mystic Bayou. Tell them about your calendar.
Yeah, I have an astrological calendar that it goes by the signs of the zodiac. Instead of January through December, it's Aries through Pisces. And it starts with the first day of spring. And I do all the artwork for it. So if you're interested, just
definitely,
you can work something out. I'll send you some bulk
Nudge,
orders or something.
Okay. Without a doubt.
And if anyone wants to order one, you can find it on my website and just buy it straight from me.
All right. Claudia?
You can reach me on my website, waltavision.com, or on the gram, WALTA, Walta. And thank you so much, everyone. It's been a pleasure.
All right. And I want to thank everybody for joining us for this last episode. I want to thank Joy and Michelle for coming down. I was gonna say visit Mystic Bayou and all that, but I think they already did that work for me. I could be reached at IamAstrologyReadings.com. Follow me so you can read my horoscopes and blogs and all of that stuff that I put out. You know how I end this every time. Know thyself and balance your energy.
Peace.
And you know how Claudia likes to end it too.
Yeah.